Imagine standing at the edge of a swamp. The air is hot. The humidity is overwhelming. You hear movement in the water. At first, you think it's a fallen tree. Then the tree begins to move, slowly, silently. A massive head rises above the surface. Its eyes lock onto you, and suddenly you realize something terrifying. This isn't an anaconda. This isn't a python. This is Titanoboa, the largest snake that has ever lived. A snake so enormous that it makes every modern snake look small. But just how big was Titanoboa? And what kind of world could create such a monster? Let's find out. For millions of years, nobody knew Titanoboa existed. Then, in 2009, scientists working in a coal mine in Colombia made an incredible discovery. They uncovered fossilized vertebrae unlike anything they had ever seen. At first, researchers thought the bones belonged to several different animals. But after careful analysis, they realized something astonishing. The fossils belonged to one gigantic snake, a snake far larger than any species alive today. Scientists named it Titanoboa carajonensis, and the numbers shocked the world. Titanoboa lived around 58 million years ago. Scientists estimate it reached lengths of 42 to 50 feet. That's roughly 13 to 15 meters long. To put that into perspective, a typical school bus is about 35 feet long. Titanoboa was longer. The largest green anacondas alive today usually reach around 20 feet. Titanoboa was more than twice that size. Its weight is estimated at over 2,500 pounds, more than 1,100 kilograms. That's about the weight of a small car. Imagine an anaconda. Now imagine stretching it to more than double its length, then giving it the weight of a vehicle. That's Titanoboa. But Titanoboa's size tells us something even more fascinating. A snake this large could not survive naturally in most places on Earth today. Why? Because snakes are cold-blooded animals. Their body temperature depends on the environment around them. The larger a snake becomes, the more heat it needs to function. This means Titanoboa lived in a much warmer world than ours. Scientists estimate average temperatures in its habitat range between 30 and 34 degrees Celsius. Dense tropical forests covered the landscape. Vast swamps stretched for miles. The air was hot, the water was warm, and Titanoboa ruled this prehistoric paradise. Many people imagine Titanoboa hunting dinosaurs. But that's impossible. The dinosaurs had already disappeared millions of years earlier. Instead, Titanoboa shared its world with giant fish, crocodile relatives, and strange prehistoric animals. Researchers believe fish made up a large part of its diet. This may sound surprising. Modern anacondas often hunt mammals, but Titanoboa appears to have spent much of its life in water. There, its massive body became nearly invisible. It could wait patiently beneath the surface, completely motionless, watching, waiting. And when prey came close enough, it struck. Let's compare Titanoboa to the largest snake alive today, the green anaconda. A large green anaconda can reach around 20 feet in length. It can weigh up to 550 pounds. Impressive. But Titanoboa existed on an entirely different level. Titanoboa reached up to 50 feet long and weighed over 2,500 pounds. It wasn't just a little larger, it was a giant among giants. If you placed a modern anaconda beside Titanoboa, the anaconda would suddenly look small. That's how extreme the difference was. Now comes the question everyone asks, what would happen if Titanoboa still existed today? The answer is simple. It would immediately become one of the most famous animals on Earth. Entire documentaries would be dedicated to tracking it, protected reserves would likely be created, and every sighting would make international headlines. Despite its terrifying appearance, Titanoboa probably wouldn't spend its time hunting humans. Like modern giant snakes, it would likely prefer prey it understands, fish, large mammals, and animals living near waterways. Still, knowing that a 50-foot snake could be hiding beneath the surface of a swamp would certainly change how people feel about swimming. An average adult human stands about 6 feet tall. Titanoboa could reach more than 50 feet. If it were stretched out beside you, it would be longer than 2 full-size pickup trucks parked bumper to bumper. Even standing next to one of its vertebrae would have been intimidating. This wasn't just a big snake. It was one of the largest predators ever to slither across the earth. Titanoboa disappeared millions of years ago, yet its fossils continue to remind us that Earth's past was filled with creatures almost impossible to imagine. A snake longer than a bus, heavier than a car, and powerful enough to dominate entire ecosystems. Perhaps the most incredible part is this. Titanoboa wasn't a myth, it wasn't a legend, it was real. If you enjoyed this journey into the world of prehistoric giants, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us for the next incredible creature on Planète Créatures. Because Earth's history is far stranger than fiction.